A beautiful Monday morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us again today. I hope you're enjoying your holidays and happy Eid al-Maulud to all our Muslim brothers and sisters out there. My name is Dakbo Arua Joy. I'll be standing in for Yori. He's on holidays, so I'll be here for some few days now. Thank you very much for joining us once again. The Rivers rerun, that's what we're looking at today, because you may recall Saturday, the people of Rivers State went to the poll to try again to choose who will be representing them, the remaining seats in the House of Representatives, Senate, and House of Assembly. So we'll be looking at the outcome of the elections again today. To some, it was a repetition of violence and all sorts. But to some, they said that was the first time they could even exercise their franchise in a state like Rivers State. So that's what we're looking at today. We expect your calls during the course of the program. But in the before we get your calls in, we'll be doing the discussion with these two gentlemen, Alistair Wilcox, a chartered accountant and a political affairs analyst. Thank you very much, Alistair.
Thanks
for joining us.
A wonderful holiday.
Thank you. And Ken Okolubo, former commissioner at Delta State and public affairs analyst. Thank you much.
Thank you so much
for joining us, Ken.
It was my pleasure.
Let me start with you, Alex. That's your hood. So let me get your vibe, because I said to some people, controversies really. To some, it was peaceful. To others, no, that wasn't acceptable. What's your own take about that election?
Thank you very much, Dakpo. I was here on Friday, and yes, I made a passionate appeal to the people of Rivers State that it's time we go off that tunga of axis of electoral evil and begin to join other states in progressive advancement towards democratic tenets. But it seems that was not to be, because information reaching me is that the same situation still replayed itself in terms of talking about the violence that has characterized the Rivers State election over the years, to the extent that an ASP, is it ASP or DSP of police was beheaded. We are talking of a barbaric, now, you see, we're not taking to a barbaric level, because beheading is something that we knew of the 18th, 17th centuries. Now, if you have to, not shooting, not using dynamite or something to kill, you now use cutlass to behead, then I think the demon really has refused to leave Rivers State. But that's not to say that it was all woes, tales of woes, because relatively there were some resemblance of elections in some areas. For instance, in the Rivers Southeast, I saw your cameraman, I saw a lot of snappers from that angle where people were jubilant and rejoicing in casting their votes for the first time. Some of them said, I've been having PVC since this is the first time I'm able to cast my vote. So it's a mixed bag. But one incident of bloodshed in Rivers State, I think, will dent the entire, because one bad apple will certainly spoil the whole brood. So it's rather unfortunate that my people, because I'm involved, my people in Rivers State have refused to join Delta and Akwa Ibom that used to be in this kind of category. But I think Delta has moved on. Akwa Ibom has also moved on, and even Rivers State in that ignominious leak of bad electoral processes. Okay,
they said Delta State has moved on. But why is it Rivers in all this? Because we're just talking about 22, 3 senatorial seats, 22 House of Assembly, and 12 House of Representatives.
What actually went on was 10 House of Assembly and 8 House of Reps. You know, it's sad. You know why it's very sad? You know, the governor had actually said and cried out that he had envisaged a situation like this. Even if you say the governor, being the chief security officer of the state, do not have the control of the DSS and do not have the control of the police, he received security briefings. And if you look at what actually happened in the Stoke, the embers, the fanning of the embers of war was actually done when the APC had their last rally, you know, calling fire for fire, making inflammatory statements like if they shoot you, take cover and shoot.
But I said the governor started it.
The truth about
the governor
it,
himself
the
started
governor,
it.
the governor,
That was the
the
allegation.
governor started it in March. Let's be fair to him. In this December rerun, he stopped making such inflammatory statements. Where he was now crying was a situation where he was saying that the police and INEC had become compromised. Let's look at this objectively. INEC carried out elections in Ondo. Ondo used to be the wild, wild west. And you can see that there have been no challenge. It's 21 days, it's 21 days, almost 21 days already. And none of the parties, either Oke or Jegede, has indicated that he's going to the tribunal to challenge the victory of Akeredolu. Well, when the Electoral Act says substantial compliance, it means that the election might not be perfect, but let them be substantial compliance. But in case where 5 people are killed, some of those people are going to take their tickets on people's blood. Mohammed Akali, DSP of police, was trained by taxpayers. Could even have reason to become the IG.
I don't forget
he has been beheaded.
His orderly was also
His orderly was also killed. That's what I was going to say. And his father was a commissioner of police. How sad. I mean, we can sit here and talk about victory and talk about the fact that people were able to vote, but you have put this Akali family into mourning. It is very despicable. And all this could have been avoided, because when people feel that an arm, a security arm, has become partisan, for example, in Omuko, where he was killed, they said the 12 mobile policemen he was leading were going to go and stop youths who they had alleged were stopping electoral materials from getting to the area. The same youths heard that in Bodo, that's in Gokana local government, they had hijacked people in SAS uniform and civil defense uniform, had hijacked materials allegedly for voting in those areas. And if you look at the way the Rivers scenario is, I'm happy he's from Rivers State. The Rivers Southeast happens to be the stronghold.
That's
to
where
a large extent, Magnus Abe is from, of the APC,
Yeah.
to a large extent. And Magnus Abe is on ground. Even when Premium Times was alleging that voting was taking place in his house, I was telling somebody, because I was having an argument, we were having that argument. I said, you can only rig where you are popular. I'm a politician. When I first ran for House of Reps elections in 2003, I won in the areas I was strong. The areas where then I contested under the Alliance of Democracy, the areas where I didn't win, where my party then wrote the results, were areas I was not popular. Because for you to be able to write election results, you must be able to have people who will not resist you. Do you understand where I'm coming from? So when you are disadvantaged and they outshine you, then it shows you are not on ground. So my case here is that I don't have anything personal against the Minister of Transport. But why is he always in the news for the bad reasons when it comes to Rivers State? He's been the Speaker of that state for 8 years. He's been the governor for that state for 8 years. But Magnus Abe has shown that he's more on ground than even Rotimi Amechi
himself.
That is just the absolute truth. Look at the six local governments. Look at the 6 local governments where results have come from. Rivers East, where Amechi is from, where you know he's from Ikwere. Obiakpo is where the governor is from. All those are now Obiakpo and Emoha. They have still not released the results from those 2 local governments, and the governor is alleging that they are changing the figures because Senator Abie Sekibo is leading by more than 50,000 votes. If you have declared Magnus Abe with 125,000 votes to Olaga Nwogu of 25,000 votes, the disparity is very clear. I didn't even like the fact that there was in Gokana they were having all those issues because Magnus Abe was already in the lead in the results that had been accepted. And so in the areas where the elections were going to hold, I didn't even see how Olaga was going to be able to overturn the result of Magnus Abe. So why not allow parties in their stronghold exercise everybody knows everybody has strongholds. Even in America,
when you say exercise now, that means
without violence,
they can write results.
No, not that they can write. No, that's not what I'm trying to say. When I mean exercise, why not allow them exercise their rights to their popularity by not going in there to fight to hijack materials? That's what I'm saying. Because whoever is hijacking materials is the person at a disadvantage. I'm not saying right results. We have passed the stage of writing results. He talked about Delta, where I come from. Look at the elections that were held in 2011 Do you understand? I mean, before now, it was the same Delta I told you I went for elections before I became a commissioner, and I lost in areas where I was not strong because the results were written. We thought we have passed that stage of writing election results. We have gotten to that stage where we can actually go for dry voting. So the Rivers scenario is sad after seeing Ondo.
Because you mentioned Ondo again. That's where I take you to.
It's sad after seeing
Ondo. But that will be, wait. I need to go on a short break. So when I come back, I will take it to you because I know you'll be itching to even say something about that. I don't go anywhere, please. Welcome back. We're still looking at the rerun election that happened in Rivers State on Saturday. And I was going to go to you, Alesta, because he said the instance whereby in Rivers State we still have skirmishes or you still have pockets of violence around compared to Ondo State. And in Ondo, because he mentioned, why is it that, okay, or somebody else is not, or Jagede is not contesting Akeredolu.
Number one, I'm happy.
But now, no, let me just add this. Because in Rivers State, it looks like, because we don't even know, except for Magnus Abe and maybe Wogu and some few people, we don't even know the contestants of this election. All we just hearing is Wike and Amechi.
I'm happy for one thing that the accusation against INEC is reducing as far as, I mean, like he said about Ondo. Because number one, I want to give it to INEC. The INEC has been very, very fair since after the shenanigan of 2015. Now, how did we get to this place in Rivers State? Rivers State was the only, Rivers, Delta, and Akwa Ibom, I call them the acts of electoral evil. Because these are the states that, like Ken is saying, that will write results.
Yes.
Smash ballot box and say, well, I'm strong.
Yes.
Why will he not be able to, if it's popular, why will election under Alliance for Democracy? I mean, PDP seems to have the monopoly of writing of results, kind of ballot boxes, and disappearing.
That was then.
That, even up till now. But because the INEC of today has chosen to take the extra mile, we accuse INEC of inconclusive. And I begin to ask myself the question, are we all dumb and deaf? Now let's take Bayelsa. Let's just forward back to Bayelsa. If it is the previous INEC under the previous administration, or if it was PDP that was in charge, and I tell you this for free, I'm not a party member. I'm happy Ken is a PDP member. I'm not a party member. I'm looking at it from a neutral point of view. If it is in those days of INEC telling you we've declared this, we'll go to court, I tell you today, Silva will be the governor of Bayelsa State. What did he do? What did he do? He just went to Satan Ejo. Brought 80,000 naira, 80,000 from where? From nowhere. Manufactured 80,000 votes. And that override Dixon's vote. What did INEC do? Simi Prince is an APC member. What they do? Said no, this result cannot stand. So they declared election what? Inconclusive. They went back for a rerun. Some units are still, and they went, and today what's his name? The governor, Dixon is the governor, on account of the fact that INEC started to put their foot down to do the right thing. Now, come back to Rivers State. Sincerely speaking, with the result released in Rivers Southeast, I'm not comfortable about it.
The one,
it was too, the white, because if you look at INEC result these days, it is in Rivers State you used to hear, from Okilo time, you used to hear landslide victory, sea-slide victory, moonslide victory. It got worse under Odili. Under Peter Odili, 2.5 million people will register for election. On election day,
on a raining day,
on election day, 2.49 will vote for Peter Odili, and then 10,000 will vote for Sergeant Awuse. Awuse is from a very popular place, Ikwere. At least if you Ikwere vote alone, it will be more than 10,000. They will give him 10. They will just allocate him 10,000. You had moonslide. So
it's allocation of results.
But now coming to 2010, what happened? 2015, what happened? Before you know it, I mean, you know what transpired, and that made the court that at some point that Rivers State was the only state that had no representation in the National Assembly with only one a House of Rep member. Less than 10, only 10 seats we allow. I mean, scaled through in the State Assembly.
But you say you're not comfortable with the Rivers South.
I'm not comfortable with
Southeast.
it because
Why?
I look at the margin. It's unimaginable.
Okay,
there could be more than 25,000 PDP members.
Okay.
In Rivers Southeast.
Okay.
But that's not to say everything was bad.
Okay, but what about this call?
It's Magnus Abbey's stronghold.
Okay.
Olaka and
So
Magnus Abbey
anything can happen.
cannot match in terms of electoral asset or liability.
What about
Magnus
this?
at with me. That margin,
yes, it was too much.
I have a reservation about.
What about this call that Governor Wike said the Rivers East senatorial district, senatorial district, and also the Rivers West.
Antonio Opobo.
Yes. He said they should declare the results.
Yes, and Andoni constituency, that has not been declared. But you see, the biggest problem,
doesn't mean
like
because
he said,
PDP is leading. It doesn't mean that
exactly
PDP has
what
won.
he's saying. Like what he has said, Magnus Abbey had 125,000 votes, and Olaga had 25,000 votes. So a difference of 100,000 votes. Yes, why you can still query that? Why you might still query that? But I believe, in all honesty, that in a free and fair process, it will be difficult for Olaga to beat Magnus Abbey. I can concede that.
But the gap is just the problem.
Yes, but in Rivers West and in Rivers East, there is no way APC would win those two senatorial districts. You know my pain here? My pain here is that I come from Delta State and I am from the South. Apart from Ambode, there is no other governor that is working like Wike. Everybody knows I have differences with Wike when it comes to the internal crisis we have. As someone who is in PDP and as someone who speaks out as regards our internal crisis, I'm not happy with the way he has handled our internal crisis and the role he has played. But I must be honest when it comes to the issues of my party. Wike is working beyond anybody can comprehend.
But is this
I
about,
have APC members who have gone to Rivers.
Because the election we're talking about is a grassroots election.
No, you know why it's about Wike and about Amechi. Amechi sees it as a referendum. Whether you like it or not, Amechi was the Director General of Buhari's campaign. As a DG of Buhari's campaign, it was a shame that he couldn't deliver one seat in the House of Assembly, one seat in the House of Reps, and one senatorial seat. Whether you like it or not, I mean, look at Akeredolu. Akeredolu was not in office, and he swept the elections. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Look at even Kogi. But in his own case, he has not been able to deliver. And this was his chief of staff, don't forget, who he nominated to become a minister, Wike.
Yes.
And so there is this contest between both of them, that this rivalry that has brought a lot of bad blood. And so Amechi sees it as a referendum on his government. And he wants to insist that he is on ground. But the truth is that he's not on ground.
No, I think that's not.
He's not on ground
true.
in his own area. You know why I say this?
It looks like
his election result.
his
election result was missing in his unit. It's a shame.
It seems there's an ego problem.
If you are on ground, you cannot have your election result missing in your unit.
I don't like that word on ground, because it's like we're personalizing this. And that's what has brought us to this level. You know, I don't want to go into the contest as to what Wike said, what Amechi said.
Yes.
Unfortunately, everybody in PDP will have a very good reason to hate Amechi or to give Amechi knocks. Amechi was their albatross, so to say, in PDP, because he was the game changer. And so everybody in PDP will find a way to knock Amechi, even if he has not done anything wrong. Amechi has not.
And they were there together.
Amechi has done nothing wrong. And I think, and like I said when I was on Friday, it's not for me to go to say what Wike said. I think Wike stroked the fire for far too much. Even in 2000 and even in the March election, the words were out of this place. Before you come to the vice second election, write your will, you will be killed, and then Ejit Kopa was even killed on all that. Now, I condemn entirely that mega rally that took place in Port Harcourt. I condemn
the
APC mega rally. I condemn, and I still say it today, Governor Gonduje should apologize to the people of Rivers State for telling them to kill themselves. Because that was not his beat. He couldn't have told them in Kano.
Did he just...
no, he said, if they shoot you, he said if they shoot... That's funny
embers of this.
He said if they shoot you,
take cover and shoot. What's
But, let's talk about Amechi. But Amechi
never altered
anything.
What Amechi did, Amechi was a bit civil. Amechi said, you know, I've never spoken like this.
Yes.
But if they slap
Amechi
you, this time, don't allow them kill you. But I didn't say you should kill.
Okay. Amechi never
that
altered
was
any
quite
word.
responsible.
And again,
if
if you watch one television station channels on Sunday before then, when Governor Wike was, I was ashamed, sincerely, because the way he was talking, he was still bitter and I said it clearly. But when Senator Magu Nasabi came to talk, you see two different characters on display on that day. Very different, very different. When the governor, the chief security officer, is talking at, I mean, imputing everything, accusing INEC, the same INEC you used to get your own, because they all know what they do. I'm not a politician. Ken is a politician, so he may know some of those things. So the same system that you use, you are now seeking that system is against you. And this INEC is not against, I don't think it's against anybody. And I think they too will have been so careful to the point that because they are losing too much credibility in Rivers State, they are losing too much life, they are losing too much time. What you are talking about now, the amount of resources used in this rerun election, used in all this preparation.
Because the election was meant to have been concluded
in March.
Long ago.
Even December.
Okay, a year ago, before March.
It's not what I'm about. The kind of money being spent.
Okay, let's look at the time wasted and everything. Ken, what has people got to gain from all this now? Because we're talking about grassroots representation here. The hula baloo, the shenanigans, the wasted time. Now, how many years do these people have to spend now to give the dividend of democracy?
You are spot on. You see, in Akoko Toru, for example, the elections couldn't hold yesterday. I'm sure he's aware. Yeah. They postponed from Saturday to Sunday. Sunday, they said the violence was still too much, and they postponed till today. Nobody knows if the elections are going to hold in that local government. And it's about, how many wards do you have there? They don't, in that local government, I don't think you have more than 10 wards. It's 15 wards. 10, 15 wards. 10, 15 wards. And they're having that election in just about 5 of those wards. So it is really sad because you see, like you said, as a legislature, your primary duty is to make laws that will represent and protect the interests of your people and act as an oversight in terms of putting the executive for checks and balances and making sure that the dividends of democracy, which have been budgeted for, are well supervised, well tailor-made in such a way that it will provide succor to your people. That's basically the duty of the legislature. It's missing
now, like somewhere like Rivers.
It's sad. Okay, for example, the PIB bill would have been passed without the 3 senators from Rivers State.
Yes.
I'm being apolitical here now. Do you understand?
And you need their input.
You need their input.
Can I interrupt you?
Rivers State is an oil producing.
Can you reserve your thought then? Because we'll continue for where we'll stop. Because we need to go on another short break. All right. When we come back, I'll continue with Ken. Welcome back. You're still watching This Morning on Television Continental. I did interrupt Ken Okolobo to go on that short break. And the argument, the discussion then was about what is it that the Rivers people are losing or have lost. They're talking about this rerun election. And you were talking about the PIB.
The PIB, yes.
Yes.
And the Senate.
Yes.
And basically, if you actually also look at the House of Representatives, they had only one member who survived the onslaught. I'll say it's an onslaught because the same evidences that were presented at the Court of Appeal was what was presented against Wike. But because in the governorship and in the gubernatorial contest, it gets to the Supreme Court. But in the case of senatorial or House of Reps or House of Assembly, it ends at the Court of Appeal. The Supreme Court was able to reverse the nullification of Wike's election. And so what am I saying here? I'm not trying to justify that Rivers, there was no rigging in 2015. That's not what I'm about to do here. But the time they have lost, they should all be conscious of it because they're all from Rivers State. At the end of the day, it's the state that is suffering.
And the development also has been affected.
Development of the state. Because all this distraction whether you like it or not, as much as Governor Wike is working, it's affecting him. He talked about seeing Governor Wike speak in that program. You are from Rivers. When a man is endangered, do you understand? He gets exasperated.
Is he endangered or feels endangered? Can I quickly?
I think he was feeling
a state of emergency.
Because
can I quickly take Yakub? Same thing.
The same treatment.
Yakub,
no, but is it fair to pay him back?
No, they're not paying him back. I think he's been over fearful.
Good morning, Dapo.
How are you?
Yeah, good morning to the two wise men in the studio, Dapo.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
We need to ask ourselves a question. The question I want to throw to the two wise men in the studio, this one is so simple. Is it these people that are contesting to be a House of Representative or Senate, so to say? Are they really want to serve the people of River State? Are they really want to serve the humanity of that state? That if it is yes, why are they behead police officers? Why are they kidnapping people? Why are they shooting themselves? That state is a volatile state, and then that I can bet you that kind of thing it will continue until they make sure that we amend our constitution, especially whereby any political office order, you'll be collecting 18,000 minimum wage. You know, the money is too much because these people are not going because of the people of that state. They are going because of selfish interest. Why am I saying that? You will see somebody today ride a worker and then hold a workhouse. Immediately it becomes the House of Representatives because before 1-2 years, the person will have like 5-10 cars, has the house in Abuja, has the house in Lagos State and every place. Therefore, the question now is this. You know they conducted this election last time. Yes. People got killed, people got missing. Therefore, I am telling 1% that the prosecution is there. None person, none of them that be prosecuted. That is why this thing will be continued because now they're behind the police officer. Do you know who behind the police officer? Nobody knows. And then the police officer then said they will not carry investigation to the extent they will bring that person into law and justify the killing and kill the person at the same time. God bless you, Sir Dapo. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Yakub.
I think Yakub is quite spot on it.
Because he's spot on. Wait, because even around the same place, the DSP was murdered. Omoku. You had a soldier. A soldier was also in March. When was that? Some time ago. Was also. You know some NSCDC officials also were abducted.
Yes, I think you see Rivers. For me, like I said, he was spot on the fact that.
And again, sorry, he was spot on with the fact that he said. Because we were saying the people are losing,
yes,
and the representatives are just there, and he's saying it's because they have so much money, they are getting so much money from this system. If you change their salary to like 15,000, who would want to go there?
That will not be. Look, it's not even, for me. If you like change the salary to one naira, the loopholes within the system, I'm sure Ken knows. The loophole within the system will still make you to make. I mean, what is the salary? That will make the salary of a legislator is not of that of a banking officer in the bank. The actual salary of a legislator, they earn 11 million. 11 million, and an assistant manager in a bank earns more than 11 million. So if their salary is nothing to write home about, but the system, I mean the loopholes in the system, is what they live on, not salary. So it's wrong to say make that. They can make that salary 5,000 naira. They will still struggle together. But you see, the truth of the matter is this.
Can I quickly get Anthony and let me add that to where you're going again. Anthony from Lagos. Good morning.
Good morning, Dapo. How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Good morning to the gentleman in the studio.
Thank you very much.
All right. So quickly, my contribution is simple. I blame the people of River State, whether for PDP or for APC. I blame them completely because you can't tell me that. People are calling Laneji, some people are calling Wike. Who are the machineries? Who are the people they are using? Are they not the different people? Simple election. Just to call. And again, when people keep talking about APC, the president, and all the likes, can we please remind ourselves what happened in 2015? Even before the election, there was gun spray. One of the sister studios was on air transmitting a campaign, and before you knew it, there was gun spray, and nothing happened. Now they took the case to court, and the Supreme Court endorsed the bloodshed. If they have correct, it was so glaring that there was anomaly in the election, but they endorsed it, and now we are back to square one.
My own blame goes to both parties, the river people, until they learn their lessons and call themselves to order and say, listen, one, we are Nigerians, two, we are human beings, we must get it right. Nobody can help us. Even the United States cannot help us.
Okay, we have
they
to
are
help
battling
ourselves.
with their own.
Okay.
Until we talk to ourselves and say, we must get it right.
All right.
Otherwise, it will continue.
Anthony,
Have a
thank you.
blessed day.
Thank you so much for your submission there.
Yeah, that's quite true because you see, River State is a state that is so much militarized in terms of illegal weapons.
You know what he said again that caught my attention? He said the Supreme Court is the major reason endorsed what is
the
going
bloodshed.
on.
Well, let me not go to what happened. It's past. Let's put that in the past. And if they have conscience,
But it's reverberating now. The past, what he's saying, the past is echoing.
No,
now.
yes, it's echoing. But if the 7 justices of the Supreme Court that sat over those cases, Rivers, Delta, Akwa Ibom, Abia, and all, if they have consciences and see what is happening today, let it be on their consciences. And, you know, I'm not saying who is right here, who is wrong, if the appellate court was right or if the Supreme Court was right. But we all know, but people have seen what transpired in between all those shenanigans. But see, for me, what is most important to me now is the life that has been lost in Rivers State.
Yes,
these are Rivers
cause for concern.
blood. These are Rivers blood. These are Rivers indigenous. These are people who live in the same community. These are people who used to be friends in the same party before. These are people who used to eat from each other's kitchen, from each other's kitchen. These are you're not taking somebody from Akokotoro to go and kill somebody in Bodo or in Gokana. No, you're taking somebody from Akokotoro to kill somebody in Akokotoro. You're not taking somebody from Elemi to go and kill somebody in Omoku. You're taking somebody from Omogu to kill somebody in Omoku. So why are we doing this to ourselves?
Mrs. Ikemefuna, good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
You calling for my brother?
For the Rivers Run.
Okay, ma'am.
I would advise the president to create a military administrator for Rivers State. The election should be cancelled. It should be cancelled because the Rivers people, they don't like themselves. There's no love reigning in Rivers State. Since Wike came into the state, a lot of blood have been shed there. Everybody keep calling Amici. They are cousins. They know what they are doing. So for government to get the right people, the right set of people in Rivers State, they should create a military administrator there and do another election for the next 6 months. I think it will help the people to sit up.
All right, where do we get that money from? That's a major problem, Mrs. Ikemefuna.
No, government, no, they know what to do. The military know what to do. They are doing it in Niger Delta. They should do it for Port Harcourt.
That will be like the fifth. That will be like the fifth time, madam. That election will be. That will be like the fifth time.
That has no representative in the National Assembly.
Yes.
Nobody. It's wrong. It's bad.
Very bad.
It's not done anywhere in the world. So they should create a military administrator, send military presence there. The people will sit up.
All right.
They will stop shooting.
Thank you so much.
They'll be able to get the people who have guns.
Thank you, madam. It's like declaring a state of emergency if you have a military administrator.
But you know the funny thing? That's exactly what I was saying when I said the governor was in danger.
That shouldn't be.
He shouldn't get to this stage.
No, he shouldn't get to this stage.
You see, Ken Aswese, the lawyer that was killed, and the APC.
Yes, a lot of people have been
everybody
killed.
said it was Wike that killed the Ken. At the end of the day, the police investigated and found out that it was bloody kidnappers because it was so painful. They caught the life of that man short for no reason, and he only came to assist. And that was when they killed him. They said he put up a fight. And so if the investigation did not get to a logical conclusion,
they were just
everybody would have assumed he was killed by the PDP. So what am I saying here? Let us not always jump the gun. If you look at what's happened in the whole of the South, Wike is the only man that has carried out amnesty. You saw all the guns that were recovered.
To cultists.
And yes, to cultists. And you saw it was handed over to the military. You see the amount of guns, AK-47,
but according to report, they said most of the guns are missing now.
No, I don't think. I think that is propaganda.
I need to take this call from Port Harcourt. Okay. Is that Paul? Good morning, Paul. Mark, good morning.
Hello.
How are you, Mark? Good morning. Mark, if you hear us once and for all, you just keep on talking because there's a delay. Tell us what is happening in Rivers and your own submission of a rerun election.
I'm fine. My name is Max. I'm calling from Port Harcourt. Okay, it is very unfortunate what is happening in Rivers State. The problem with Rivers State is that the youth, the large vision. What they see in Rivers State now is politics the fallout from oil companies and cultists is very, very unfortunate. And that is why the political class use them against each other. You see, now you find out that if they are properly utilized by themselves, these politicians cannot use them anyhow. You can't bring somebody from Omok to go and kill somebody from Port Harcourt, or you can't bring somebody from Calabari to go and kill somebody from Ogoni. Some people keep killing each other among themselves. It's unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate. Thank you so much, Mark, for that submission of yours. And I did interrupt
I think, yes, you know, one other thing that we shouldn't forget is the IG, you know, apart from the fact that these killings have happened, like the 5 lives that so far has been confirmed that were lost.
And nobody, nobody has been arrested since.
Yes, it behaves on the IG, especially, although he's been trying with his IG monitoring team, the life of everybody that died is important. But you see, the life of this DSP, who was a mobile commander, it behaves on him to carry out an extensive investigation, especially in that Omoko area. Because like you rightly said, that area has become very notorious in terms of not even only during elections, but in terms of these attacks. From
November 20th, a soldier was killed.
It was November, that's what I said.
And four NSCDC officers were killed.
They later found their bodies. So they need to find out which of the groups are behind this killing. Because if the mop-up has been done and most of those arms had been taken from most of those cultists, I don't expect that all the arms have been taken.
Do you call them most? Some people are saying maybe like 10% of the arms.
No, of course, I don't expect that all.
What you saw will have been just a 10% of what is it's available, and that's the danger.
But that's the danger,
today,
even because
that Omoku area is notorious for gangsterism, for kidnapping, for cultism, for everything. If it can, I don't know how the people sleep there.
Is that what the last caller said? Because I don't understand why
don't know. No.
the youths have been made so redundant. Now guns are being given to the youth. And apparently, they said those that stay in the glass house don't throw stones.
Exactly.
That's what it's looking at.
And let me say this: people might have issues against Amechi, but I tell you something. I'm not a fan of Amechi. I'm not a APC member, but I tell you something. Before Amechi, advent of Amechi in Rivers State was terrible in terms of criminality.
So it got better a little.
It got quite better.
Can I quickly go on a short break?
Better.
Can I go on a short break?
What happened after now?
Yes.
I'll take it from there. Go ahead.
We need to go on another short break. Where we'll come back. The conversation continues. Don't go anywhere, please. Welcome back. Before we went to that break, I did interrupt Alester.
Yes, we're talking on the issue of was it?
Okay, wait. Let me add this to what you were saying. Do you know the governor of Ekiti State, Ayodele Fayose? He comes up every time when this happens, but he's making a pertinent call now to the president of the president-elect of the United States. Talking about Donald Trump, saying that Trump should look into the situation in Nigeria, especially in Rivers State, because it could lead into the integration, or how did they put it, of the country. What do you think?
Well, Governor Fresh is always a clown. He's always come up with one clownish situation that, for me, it's always belittle his office as governor of Ekiti State. Just like I condemn Gandoje for coming to inside the people of Rivers State. Well, he has no business in saying what happens in Rivers State. Yet his party. Now they are the receiving end. That is why they are.
But Fayose is saying this is a reminder of the level of destruction to electoral process.
That is. So who started it? How did he get his own election? So he has no any moral justification to even interfere in Rivers State election. For me, Rivers people should solve Rivers problem. Rivers problem cannot be solved from outside Rivers State. There are prominent men and women in Rivers State.
But they are quiet.
That is my problem, because they have been silenced by the force of terror. There was a time in Rivers State when the Amenable of Calabar cannot go to Calabar land. He was living in government house.
Is that bad?
It was that bad. There was a time that the traditional rulers no longer, no longer possessed. There was a time that the could not have an amenable for God knows how long. There was a time like that. And so, what I said, during the 8 years of Amechi, there was relatively peace because I don't think he patronized the militants the way other people try to patronize them. There was relatively peace because I know what some of the things he did.
But can we argue this out?
No, well, Ken is
Apostle Diamond from Iyanoba. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Compliment of the season to you all.
Thank you, sir.
Let's talk about the evolution of Port Harcourt. We used to know Port Harcourt for a very good name, Garden City. From Garden City, the Civil War, and let's talk about the abandoned property issue and the eventual, what we call it, the incursion of so many people into that axis. Now, we now talk about again that a police officer got beheaded. I look at it side by side with all the political utterances here and there. If I were Buhari, honestly, I would declare a state of emergency in that place. And most of the political actors, including Ken, he's from my state, from Bayelsa Delta State, they should ban all of them. Number 3, I still call a spade a spade. The fear of God is no more there.
But Apostle, if they ban all of them, are we going to import people from heaven?
I wonder.
No, we are not going to. All those who have held political appointments in one way or the other should be given the sack letter. That time, and they should also they should turn all our political the emolument of our political appointees to 18,000 naira minimum wage.
Okay.
You see, the clamor for political position, it has turned to another thing, that a whole Garden City is now called this estate, and not only that, the people are now killing themselves because of some gladiators. It's very sad.
Thank you so much, Apostle Diamond. Garden City, really, because that's where I served. A lovely city.
Ken, let me tell you one thing. I will continue. I know you can. And I know what I'm talking about.
Ken is a nice man,
I know all our political appointees. I know what they do.
What do they do, Apostle? What do they do?
He's gone.
He's gone. Ken, they say they should sack everybody.
Yeah,
and start afresh.
I think he's speaking from an emotional perspective of the way once you are in public office, you are seen as a thief. You are just seen as a thief. No matter how you have the dividends of democracy.
Maybe the old batch. Maybe the old batch. So maybe the new batch might not be seen as thieves.
That everybody cannot be thieves, you understand. He's from Delta, he knows I served as a commissioner there. But I think I wouldn't come and talk about my scorecard here. That's not why we are here. But you see, the important thing I'm trying to talk about is, for the first time, I'll actually disagree with you sharply when it comes to Fayose. If you notice, Paul Arkwright, the ambassador, the British High Commissioner, made a statement before the Rivers election.
Yes.
Mr. Stuart Stenson, the ambassador of the United States of America, made a statement before the Rivers election. And Mr. Gare, the French ambassador, made a statement before the head of the EU Commission. I've never seen where these 4 very key people will make statements for a legislative rerun election. It wasn't gubernatorial. So by the time the United States of America, the EU, the French government and the United Kingdom government are making very key statements on an election, they know that the international community is interested in what is happening in Rivers.
Fayose is making a point.
Fayose is on point. So when Fayose says that he's calling on the president-elect to take more interest in Nigeria and especially Rivers State, what he's trying to say is that he's going in line with those statements that these key people have made.
Can I quickly take George, please? Yeah, I've held George on for a while. Good morning, George. From Ikeja. How are you, sir?
I think it's not correct to say that Amechi is not on ground in Rivers. If Amechi was not Director General of Buhari's campaign during that time of election, the story on ground would have been different. This is a man that was governor for 8 years. A person that ruled a state for 8 years, you cannot say he's not on ground. So these are the kind of sentiments that are playing out and breeding violence in that state that brought egotism to play. People saying the other person is not on ground. This one will say, yes, I am. I want to prove to you that I am on ground. So such statements should be avoided in public fora.
I agree.
What I want to say, Uncle Dapo,
yes,
is that those people that are responsible for beheading those policemen, the government must not allow it to lie low.
Okay.
They should be fished out and punished. This is beyond electoral offense. It's painful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Manslaughter.
Manslaughter. So when Fayose makes his statements, yeah, we know Fayose can make some statements that are overblown. I concede to that. But he was spot on when he was calling on this kind of yes, this kind of outright intervention. But I don't think it is beyond Buhari.
To be fair to Buhari, you should say the integration
to be fair
of
to Buhari, Buhari has always said, and I must say this, that he's very sad when it comes to the issue of elections in Rivers State. He has not minced any word about it.
Should he declare a state of emergency?
No, but I don't think he should declare a state of emergency. For me, that's exactly where they want it to go to and sack Governor Wike. I don't think it has called for that. What I think we should do, if we are going to be apolitical, is to encourage fishing out those cultists that, like he has started, which Wike has started. Let him key into that program, bring the federal might now, to make sure that every single area, because let me tell you the truth, like he rightly said, somebody from Omoko will not go to Undoni to go and kill somebody. Okay. They all know themselves in that locality that are carrying out this crisis.
As we round up, it's a man-to-man is so unjust, really. Yes. And again, let me say, if you throw stones into the marketplace, it might hit one of your own.
That is the truth of the
maybe that's what they don't.
No, that's the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is that when you throw stones,
as we round up,
yes, you don't know where it's going to hit. Rivers State is known to be a Christian, a religious state. If the fastest growing church today in the world, talking about the Salvation Ministry, is in Rivers State. If you go to Rivers State on Sunday morning, you see everybody running to church everywhere. Churches are filled up. You can't find anybody at home. It's a Christian state. No, and you see, Governor Wike should please help himself. I don't want them to create a state of emergency in Rivers State. Rivers State, we've lost a lot. For instance, the salaries and allowances, money that will have come to Rivers State on the salaries and allowances of those legislators are not there. And they can't be paid in arrears. And so, pouring more fuel, flaming more fire, you are okay. If you say you are endangered, you feel threatened. You don't pour more fuel on yourself. Maintain your status quo. You have a job to, and I said last Friday, and I concur with Ken to a large extent. Wike is doing a good job. He has a job he has been elected to do. He doesn't need all the 3 senators in the National Assembly to do those jobs. He doesn't need all the 13 legislators to do those jobs. He doesn't need all the 32 members of House to do those jobs. He needs himself and the good of the people.
And he shouldn't be distracted.
Yes, and the good of people to do that job, and let him continue on that job and leave violence.
Just one statement. When I say Amechi is not on ground, it's not to disparage Amechi. But let us remember Rochas Okorocha delivered the minimum 25% Buhari needed in that election. Let us remember Oshemole delivered 40% of more than even the minimum required that Buhari needed. So when you look at these two governors, who were also endangered governors as at that time,
and Amechi was more
endangered. Couldn't deliver.
Amechi was more endangered. Amechi was more endangered than everything. Everything was against Amechi. But he's a survival, and I salute his courage.
Let's take a cue from Ken. Let's rest our case. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Alistair Wilcox, a chartered accountant and political affairs analyst.
Thank you very much.
Ken Okulugbo, a former commissioner, Delta State, and public affairs analyst.
Thank you. It's always my pleasure.
Also.
It's nice.
And for those that have called today, thank you also. That's our package. We'll see you around tomorrow. My name is Dakbo Aruwa Joye. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.